Lawlor.
The document, I read it last night too as well. It was great insight into the whole social welfare basically system. I'd really be on the change in work practices now it's all around short-term employment, people coming in for part-time jobs and how that affects their social welfare payments. A number of people have come to me and said how difficult if they go on 2 day a week or 1 day a week, or they get a job for 1 day a week, or maybe 2 or 3 hours a day, that they find that when they go back to the social welfare office, they find it extremely difficult to get back onto whatever entitlements that they're entitled to. And it doesn't seem flexible enough to deal with the sort of modern workforce that we have now. So there's a couple of questions I have. There's been a review, I have to read out this, a review of the application of the Unemployment Benefit and Assistance Scheme conditions to workers who are employed on a full-time basis. That was published in 2007. There was a number of recommendations made on that. I just want to know how far down the road we are with those recommendations at the moment. I've already mentioned, and I had someone come to me earlier on where people, they would have 2 hours work for them in a day until they build up the number of hours, particularly in the care side of things. There's organisations out there. They find that people don't want to take up the job because they will lose a full day's entitlement as a result. Now, whether we decide to move to look at people rather on a daily basis but on an hourly basis, that if they do 10 hours work a week, that they're entitled to 25 hours or whatever social welfare payment. Now, whether we start thinking about that, there may be costs, problems associated with that. Other things with, and part of the thing, what I read last night had to do with other measures that were trying to get people off the social welfare payment. And one of the things that's come up is the JobBridge and the National Internship Scheme, and particularly been highlighted the last couple of days with the multinationals such as Tesco. And a couple of questions with regard to, I don't know if you guys can answer it, is that basically what happens if the job is not what the job description says? I think I highlighted one there recently where a guy went for a position as a web designer. Now, he's a fully qualified web designer, but he was going into a company in the removal business. One couldn't see where a full-time web designer was required in a removal company. But anyway, as a result of that, what are the consequences for the company that put up an advertisement like this on the FOSS programme? What are the consequences for the company? Is there punishments because they misinformed the people? The other thing is, these schemes here, are they actually replacing a potential full-time job by putting someone on the internship, or is it being used by the company to get cheap labour? And the other thing is that if someone on a job ships, one of these JobBridge schemes, is there a potential of it generating a full-time job at the end of the 9 months period at the internship? Or is it suddenly disappeared and then 3 weeks later is advertised for internship again? You know, that to me would defeat the whole purpose of the scheme. The other key thing on all this and all those schemes is who exactly is monitoring it? Who's keeping an eye on if these are genuine internship jobs and things like that? I looked at the TUA scheme, and I know in Kildare there's only one TUA scheme in Kildare, maybe two. Why is it so slow in being taken up? You know, there's a lot of potential in this for people, particularly on long-term unemployment, to upskill and engage. The back to education allowance. I've had a fella come into me and he was bitching away about the fact that he can't get back on it. And when I analysed it, he rarely attended the course the previous year. So what is the attendance rate of these people who are on the back to education? Are they just using it because suddenly they go from, say, 80 euros a week up to 340 euros a week? Is it, and again, who's watching, who's monitoring that too as well? The last one is these short-term enterprise allowance schemes. how long does someone have to be unemployed before they can actually participate in this? Because a lot of people who are unemployed actually have good ideas, but the problem is that they wait shagging 6 months before they can partake in a scheme, when really they want to get out there straight away and do it. There was a ridiculous, I think it was mentioned yesterday, but there's no link up between the various schemes that are available. Let me see, there was one other. Yeah. And I was just made, someone did a bit of research for me on this. And the schemes, and what the person was saying to me, the schemes was that, were these schemes out there to steal real jobs? No. That if there was someone, because it looks as if it's a freebie for the employer, that they have to pay nothing. Are they taking jobs away that could be generated, real jobs, instead of these short-term things? That's
not in that.